Hmm? Good afternoon, everybody. We want to welcome you to another show from TTI. We hope that you are blessed, and good afternoon. We're just waiting for the recording to start. Is that right, Shirley?
It has. We're
All
all
right.
ready to go.
All right. All good. All good. Right. Welcome. 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 It is the 13th of November, I believe. And we'd just like to welcome everybody to the show. We have an excellent speaker for you today. My other host is no other than
Shirley. Good afternoon, everyone.
And my name is Edgar Wallace, and I'm going to be your host for today. So I'd like to welcome you. I know that we have people from all over the country. Also, we have people internationally. So there's people from South Africa. It could be Canada, or I don't know, all over. But we just want to give you a big, big welcome and thank you for joining us today. I'm just going to stop screen sharing. We want to welcome our YouTube viewers as well. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat and somebody from our team will try and address that for you. Right, Shirley, is there something else that we need to do? What do we need to do?
Well, we can do the promos of what's coming up.
Okay, let's go. Just hang on, I'm just going to screen share that again. Okay. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to screen share it. Just hang on 1 moment. Oh, right. Okay. Just hang on a minute. I've just done something here now. Right. No. Okay, let me screen share now. Just hang on a minute. Hang on. Hang on a minute. I've just got them. Here we go. Oh, I know what I've done. Sorry. My apologies. I'm not, I need to get this straight. So let's screen share. Okay, we're going to go through what we've got set up. Okay, can everybody see that?
Yes, we can, Edgar.
Okay, so would you like? Can you see that?
In the small, it's small it's small, not the slideshow.
Okay. Hang on, let me just get rid of this a minute. Yeah, can you see that now, or is it still small?
No, you haven't.
It's still small.
Okay, just hang on a minute.
Okay.
Minimize this. And take this thing. Okay, that's fine.
All right, is that okay?
That's much better.
Right.
Thanks, Edgar and Sharon.
My apologies there. This is today's presentation, which the person we're going to introduce him in a minute. So I'm going to carry on. Would you like to do the disclaimer, Shirley?
Yes, okay, so our disclaimer. Only a physician can diagnose, treat, and prescribe for illness or disease. Any information disclosed or discussed at the TTI Zoom talk show is for educational and informational purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your general practitioner regarding any illness or disease you may be suffering from. Okay, so this is our Telegram groups. So we have a women's, a men's, and a spiritual Telegram group. So for the women and the men's, we have where we discuss whether it's the challenges from the presenters, they may set a challenge for us, or whether it's any health issues or even words of encouragement. This is where we come together separately, women and then the men, and then we have a discussion on there. And if ourselves as an admin can't do it, there are so many individuals on there that can help as well to support. And then we have our spiritual health group, where this is also words of encouragement on the spiritual side, and words of prayer if anything's happening in someone's life or other individuals that they may know of, where we support one another on there as well. So this is the URL links. Please screenshot or well, you won't be able to write it down in time, I don't think, but screenshot it and you'll be able to join. But please ensure you do have Telegram downloaded onto your device.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this one is our spiritual health series. So the Battle for the Mind series, I think it's on Daniel now. So this will be every Tuesday at 7 p.m. And the link is at the bottom, or the Zoom ID is at the bottom, 869-8935-8138. And then the passcode is 861932. So please join. It's with Alvin and Lewis as they go through the series on Daniel. Okay, now this one is with a few of us on the admin. We do essential oils, and not this Thursday coming, the Thursday after, which is the 25th of November, we're going to be going through the 10 core oils and find out why we call it the 10 core oils, and some of the reasons why we use essential oils: reduce emotional stress, reduce toxicity, promote restful sleep, and so forth. So come and see what other things essential oils can help you with. So it's next 2 weeks, Thursday at 7 p.m. also. And it's a different ID, which is 829-9752-4481. And this one is a program with Louise Reed. It is virtual and we're online on, I think it's on WhatsApp. And it's a 10-day detox program from 9th to the 18th of January next year. And this 10-day detox program will help you to cleanse your colon, lose weight, and detox your liver and aid the digestive system. So please contact Louise. Her telephone number is below on 07833-497-532 if you'd like more information. And this one is a program on the 27th of November, where the title is Christ Method Alone and Will Give True Success. And this one is a Health and Temperance Day at Manchester South, and TTI, True Temperance International, Mercy's Door, which is Louise, the 10-day detox program, with Holistic You, which is Joan, who came on before, and with Crisis Talks Ministry, I think his name is Andre, and we will be here at Manchester South, where we're going to be teaching, Andre will be preaching, and at the end, in the afternoon, we will be doing demonstrations. So we're doing juicing, we'll be talking about herbs for the winter, application of therapies, of how to do things, whether it's poultices, etc. So for the TTI Health Family Health Show, we will be Zooming over there at Manchester. And we just want to thank you all for your support, whether it's through prayer, words of encouragement, whether it's through financial support. We would like to thank each and every one of you, even coming on the program, sharing our links with other people that you may know of. So we do thank you for what you do and just joining us week by week. If you would like to support us financially, our account details are there. If you would like it, please screenshot it. If you do miss it now, we will do the promos again at the end of the show. So thank you very much once again, and Ege, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Shirley, for doing that. I'd just like to see if we could just bring our speaker on today. We'd like to say hello to him, but I'd like him to just say a quick hi to the listeners.
Greetings. Hi, everybody. David Hanson Bartholomew here. Nice to see you all. Looking forward to just sharing this a little bit of information with you that I've recently put together. By God's grace, hopefully it should be good. No, it will be good, by God's grace.
Okay, we'll be back with you in about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that, and welcome to our show again. Right. Before we go any further, I would just like to see if anybody did the challenges that Barbara was encouraging us to do. So one of the challenges was to go to bed early. I think the time was 9 o'clock to get 8 hours of sleep. That was one challenge. Shirley, can you give me another challenge?
More water.
To drink more water. We should have like 8
Yes.
glasses of water every day. Yeah, that's well, some would say not even 8. It could be 8 to 10. So just to increase your water level, and also to get to bed early. Was anything else, Shirley?
Not that I can recall.
I think she said something about salt, to have some salt.
Okay.
But not table salt, because table salt is not good for you, but to have natural salt, Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, something that is of a better quality. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if there was anything else she said in terms of the challenge. But my question is to everybody, did you go to bed early? I'm looking for some feedback. You as well, Shirley. Did you go to bed early? And how do you feel when you got up the next morning after going to bed early? So I'm just going to put this on the floor just for a few minutes. If anybody's willing to take the challenge to say, yes, I did go to bed early, and yes, this is my response with regards to how I felt after doing that. If you're willing, please step forward and unmute yourself. And can you make sure people are able to unmute, please? Somebody says, I always go to bed around 10 a.m. Hey, I don't get that one. I'm presuming it's PM, and that's a mistake. But anyway. Okay, she says PM. Thank you, Carol. So is anybody else? We're not going to do this for very long.
Yes.
Hi, Louise, go ahead.
I went to bed. I procrastinated every day of the week apart from yesterday. I'm ashamed to say. But I went to bed yesterday at about 7 p.m.
Okay, very good.
Got up at 10 p.m. Did a night of prayer Zoom thing for 2 hours, went back to bed and couldn't go to sleep.
Oh, you couldn't get to sleep? Wow, why couldn't you get to sleep?
Because what happens is, like, I slept from like 7 till 10 and I felt really nice sleep after that. That sleep was really nice. So I got at least an hour worth of my melatonin in. Then
Okay.
I was on Zoom for 2 hours because they were doing it Jamaican time.
Okay.
So I was on Zoom for 2 hours in a prayer thing. And so at about 12, I went to go back to bed, but it just didn't happen. I went to bed, but I couldn't get back to sleep.
Okay. All right, that's good. At least you're trying. You're trying. Is there anybody else? Is there anybody else who would like to that took up the challenge and would like to give us some feedback with regards to how they got on. And also I would say, Louise is the person that's doing the detox program. So if you can see her now, this is the person who's going to help you out if you need some help. Thank you. Okay, I've got Rosalind. She says, I didn't go to bed at 9 p.m. Hold on, it's gone. Here we go. I didn't get to bed at 9 p.m. Up about 2 or 3. Then I did some memorizing text and then went back to sleep for 3 hours later. Okay, so she went to bed early.
I did go to bed.
Yeah, she did. Well done. Anybody else? Well done, Rosalind. Okay, Carol says I went to bed at 8:30, but I was awake at 2 a.m. Now, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Some people who normally get to bed late, if they go to bed really early, because you get so much better quality sleep by going before midnight. So for example, if you go to bed at 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock, how many hours sleep have you had? Shirley, how many hours sleep have you had?
From 9 till 3?
Yeah.
Or 6?
6 hours. How can 3 work out to 6? Well, an hour before midnight is worth 2.
So really, that's like 9 hours.
So when you get to bed at, say, 9 o'clock, there's a really, really good chance that you're going to wake up early in the morning. If you think about it, that makes sense because you're getting so much better sleep. And 1 hour, remember, is worth 2 before midnight. So that 3 o'clock, that 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock is worth 6 hours. Yeah, so please remember that, all those that are thinking about the challenge. And that's why sometimes you just wake up early and you think, wow, I'm refreshed, I'm ready to go, because that 3 hours is really 6 hours. So, sorry, go on, yeah.
Can I just add something in here? The other thing is, if a lot of people struggle with going to sleep, and whether it's insomnia or they just feel that their body can't, for whatever reason, and there's things that can be done to help. So I recommend that you, if you are able to come on and join us on our essential oils class, we'll be telling you a little bit about some oils that are available to assist with that. But I'll give you a clue: lavender. Right. Also, a nice massage for relaxation. David might tell us something about that. I don't know. But there are other things that you can do to assist with your sleep. So if you come onto our Telegram groups and you say that, let us know that you've got difficulty sleeping, maybe we can help you by sharing some good methods to. We did a program on sleep anyway. That if you go on our YouTube channel and type in True Temperance International, you'll find there's a session on sleep. So after typing in True Temperance International, type in the word sleep, and you'll see that there's a good presentation on sleep.
Okay, so I'm going to take it that nobody else has done the challenge, or they're a bit shy. So we're going to ask for our presenter, David. Are you available? Excellent. Now, this man is a very hard man to find. I've been chasing this man all week. He's very, very busy, and I'm sure we're going to be blessed with what he's going to say.
My humblest apologies, man.
No. I'm not here. I'm not here to give you a hard time. I'm here to listen to what you've got to say. Now, before we go any further, I would like to ask you to tell me something about yourself. Okay. Now, what is it that you like doing in your spare time that tells the audience about yourself before we go into this presentation?
My spare time. Have I got any spare time? I'm just wondering, man. I'm just wondering. Spare time. That's a good question.
Okay.
In my spare time, yeah. In my spare time, what well, put it away, spare time for me, I have to make spare time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I suppose like anybody else, right? But I like to spend time with my family.
Okay. Excellent.
I like to spend time with
Okay.
my
That's a very, very good answer. And
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Because family is very,
I
very
enjoy that time.
important.
If you look through the screen, through the screens, you might see my picture of my family. It's under Ellen, so you'll probably see her screen, and that's my family right there.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's a very good answer. Right. No further ado, we're going to jump straight into the presentation. We thank you very much for what you're going to do and what you're going to share.
Yeah.
The floor is over to you.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to need to share.
Yes, you need to share. Just check.
Do I need to do that thing again?
Yeah, just check that the annotation is
right. Okay. So if I jump up to here, actually no. It's this one, isn't it? Come on. Okay. All right. Okay. You missed it. Oh no. Down here. Hang on. All right. Let me go into share screen. That might help me. Oh, there we are. That's the one I want to go for. And we jump into there. Share. All right, okay, and then I go over to here and we look for the, trying to remember what it was called now, view of some sort, wasn't it? Enable annotation, enable annotation. So it says enable annotation for others. I don't want to enable annotations.
Right, so that means you're good to go.
All right, happy days, happy days. Right, okay, so let's have a look and see, shall we? I just want to get my screen into a nicer position. There we are. Okay, right. So let's do it that way. Okay, I'm going to take this across to here. That's it. Lovely. Okay, can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
What is it? What just so that I know that you're seeing my screen, what does it read? Anybody can mention.
The engine of life.
Engine of life. Praise God. Yeah, so you can see what I would like you to see. Now, you may have seen on a poster, the poster says David Bartholomew or David Hansen Bartholomew, musculoskeletal talk. It is from a different sort of direction, if that makes sense, right? Okay, so I'm starting off, and there's going to be a part 2 to this. I understand that I'm doing part 2 next week. So it will become more relevant towards musculoskeletal aspects of our existence. Okay, just to let you know that I'm a chartered physiotherapist in private practice and a lymphedema specialist. And I'm also what I term a child of the King, and a sinner saved by grace. So that's me. All right, my little introduction. So we're looking at the engine of life. You know, I was looking at this, you know, I studied about like cells and so on and so forth. Been to like physio school and, in when I was doing A-levels and stuff like that. And I never really quite understood just how important the cell membrane of our cells is. And I'm hoping that this is going to kind of bring an awareness to you about how important the cell membrane is. In fact, you know, this is why I've termed it the engine of life, because without your cell membranes, you would find it very hard, very difficult to exist. It's via the cell membrane that our tissues, our organs are able to function as they ought. And without their effectiveness, life would become very, very difficult to remain established or have a viability, if that makes sense. Okay, so on we roll. Okay, so a question I have for you, yeah? All right, the question is, and anybody could answer this, how many cells are there in the human body? Come on, somebody have a guess. Don't all answer at once. Any ideas? Any estimates?
70.
How many? Did somebody say 70?
Millions.
Yeah, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. Right. So,
Billion.
well, not quite zillion.
Trillions.
You're on the right track now. Trillions. Yes. So this is like 2013, right? In the Annals of Biology, by an international team of researchers, they found it to be 3.72 times 10 to the power 13. In other words, 37 trillion cells in the body, which looks like this. Okay. 37.2 trillion cells. Okay. However, in recent years, they found that there's 100 trillion cells in the body. It's a lot of cells, isn't it? You know, you think about it, one person possibly has this amount of cells, these amount of cells in our bodies. Okay. Now, just so that you know, these cells are what make you who you are. Okay, without them, you just simply wouldn't exist. But you know what's even more amazing? When you look at a cell, it literally looks like a solar system in one cell, you know, which is simply amazing. Okay, but what I want you to bear in mind is that all of these cells, they actually come together to help to form systems. Yeah. So, question: how many organ systems are there in the human body? Any ideas? You might be able to kind of like, you know, glean some from that picture possibly there.
7 or 8.
Yeah, you're close. You're close. You're close. You need to go up a little bit more though.
11.
All right. So somebody's on it. Somebody's on it. So there are 11. Somebody might look up on the internet, possibly. Yeah. That's right. It's all good. It's all good. There are 11 organ systems, okay, of the body, right? Okay, so you've got the circulatory system, okay? You've got the lymphatic system. You have the respiratory system. You have the integumentary system. Does anybody know what that is?
The skin.
All right, good job, good job. The endocrine system, the gastrointestinal system, all right? You have the urinary system, you have the musculoskeletal, excuse the spelling there, the musculoskeletal system, you have the nervous system, the reproductive system, and the immune system. So, you know, you're thinking about that. There's a lot of systems, isn't it? And all of these systems, they actually are made up of all these cells, and to each system, the cells have their own specific and different functions. Some cells are modified. It's like when you look at cells, you get what they're called columnar cells, you've got squamous cells, you've got epithelial cells, you have endothelial cells, you have all sorts, you have cardiac cells, you have musculoskeletal cells, muscular cells, you know, different cells, cardiac cells, cardiac muscle cells, you've got somatic muscle cells, you've got involuntary muscle cells, all sorts of different cells. Every single sort of organ or system of tissue has different cells for that particular function, right? But one thing that all of these cells have in common, all of these cells have in common, and they need to have this in order to exist. Anybody know what it is?
A nucleus?
Right, definitely, 100% correct. But something more simplistic. In a way, than a nucleus. In fact,
So-
go on.
Respiration.
Say that again.
Respiration.
Respiration. Yes.
Cell membrane.
Respiration. Yes. Who said? Somebody said. Who said that?
Water.
Somebody
Tina,
said.
it was Tina.
Tina. Cell membrane.
Mm-hmm.
100%. 100%. The cell membrane, even though it looks like, oh, it's just a piece of, I don't know, something or other, just encapsulates the cells. It's so important to the cell. It's so important that without it, the cell can't function. And the constituents, in other words, the things that the cell membrane is made up of, is very integral or very significant or very important in the function of the cell. Okay, so if you have issues with your cell membranes in your body, every single system is going to have some problems. Okay, right. Just to show you how involved the cell membrane is, everything in the cell, practically everything in the cell is surrounded in this stuff called cell membrane. It may not be named cell membrane, but it's basically contained by the cell membrane. So we're going to go into this a little bit if we can, yeah? Okay, just to give you just a couple of ideas about what the systems look like, and just a brief overview: circulatory system, nervous system, respiratory system, digestive system, skeletal system, and you have the muscular system. So your muscular system, or what they call the musculoskeletal system, tend to work quite hand in hand. Then having said that, you know, the nervous system works very much hand in hand with the musculoskeletal system, because without the nervous system, the musculoskeletal system will not function, because the nerves send the information to the muscles, and the muscles do the movement, and they use the joints of the body to facilitate the movement, as well as the tendons and the ligamentous aspects of the musculoskeletal system. Right, okay, so moving on. But all of these things, the cells that contribute to the existence of these different systems or tissues that are in these systems, are the main workers to keep the systems functioning effectively. All right, okay, so here we have the cell, right? This is looking at the cell under an electrical microscope. Yeah. Now, within the cell, we have what they call little organelles. Has anybody heard of mitochondria?
Yes.
And what, did anybody know what mitochondria do?
So energy powerhouse of the cell.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. Well done. Energy powerhouse of the cell. But can you see the plasma membrane on this cell? Here's the plasma membrane. This is the membrane that I'm talking about. Okay. It basically encapsulates everything inside the cell. Okay. And this is just a schematic diagram that you can see here, right, of all the different things that you have within the cell, a typical, you could say, animal cell or human cell, right? All right. And again, you have the plasma membrane here. See that? It goes all the way around. Okay, all the way around. And you have the nucleus here. You have the rough endoplasmic reticulum here, is to do with like building up, so like conjugated proteins and so on and so forth. The Golgi apparatus deals with like lipids and fats and so on and so forth. You've got mitochondria here. You've got a vacuole here, which may contain some kind of product that was being produced by the cell. You've got a secretory vesicle here, and that basically is like a portion that the cell uses to actually push things out of the cell into the area which it is lining, if that makes sense. All right. So, but all of these functions, all of these things are brought about by the plasma membrane. Okay. So if there's anything that you don't, if there's anything I don't want you to forget about this presentation, is that the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, you could say it's possibly the most important part of the cell. All parts of the cell are very important. However, the cell membrane, you see everything inside that cell there that is labeled, as it were. Apart from things like intermediate filaments and so on and so forth, they have the organelles have this cell membrane surrounding them, and it's key to their function, how it interacts with the cell plasma membrane. Okay, so there's another diagram. It's like gives you a bit more of a 3D sort of like concept of the cell membrane. Yeah. Okay, so again, it's all 3D in nature, and here we have a plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane is seen here. Okay, right, moving on. Now this is what the plasma membrane kind of looks like. If you look at the cell that we were looking at here, okay, so we're going to zoom in to the actual cell membrane here. Okay, see, we're zooming in, and this is what it looks like. You wouldn't have thought that from just looking at a line or like an outer sort of skin sort of thing, would you? All right. Okay, so these are all part and parcel supporting the function of the cell. Okay, you have like glycoproteins, and these guys send like messengers. You have protein channels, which enable things to get in and out from the outside of the cell to the inside of the cell. And there's all sorts of different methods of actions that occur. But also, not only are these serve as channels, but the actual cell membrane itself serves as a channel. So things get in and out of the cell, can get in and out of the cell via the cell membrane. Now, this cell membrane, another term that's used to describe it is a which means two, phospholipid layer. Okay, so it's a two. So you got this portion here. It almost looks like a tadpole with a tail. This is the lipid portion. This is the phosphate region, and basically they kind of like opposite each other, and they help to serve as a barrier to the outside and the inside of the cell. Okay, and it's very important. See, these structures, they actually allow oxygen to come in and out, but it's important that their constitution or whatever they're made up of is the good stuff. If they're made of really, really good stuff, then it's easy for oxygen to go from one side of the cell to the other side. So tell me, why is that important? Why is that? So is it important? Any of the youngsters can answer. Is it important that oxygen can get from outside of the cell to the inside of the cell?
It's important for homeostasis.
Yes. Very important for homeostasis. It's very important for respiration. And respiration is how we exist and how we live. Yeah. If oxygen can't get into our cells, the cells basically begin to break down. They become what they call necrotic, or go into necrosis, which means they begin to rot. So it's very important. So this is another schematic diagram of the cell membrane. And what I want you to remember again is that all of the cells in our bodies have this to aid them functioning. Okay. And this is like an electro sort of like a microscopic view of this cell membrane. Okay. To show you what it looks like in sort of like reality, if that makes sense. And again, another schematic diagram we have here. Yeah. Okay, so this is what it looks like, almost like the molecular structure. And this is kind of like what it looks like over here. All right. So hydrophilic and hydrophobic. Hydrophilic means water loving. Okay, hydrophobic means repelling from water or water hating. Yeah. So we have here the fatty type acid sort of like part of the cell, and the speed of sort of the phosphorus group up here. Right. So this is what it looks like. It almost looks like a zip, doesn't it? Almost looks like a zip opening up. And that's actually how the cell membrane actually works in a way, okay, which you'll see a bit clearer as we go on. Okay, it's another schematic, just giving you an idea of what it looks like. Okay. Again, this contributes to the biphospholipid layer. Biphospholipid layer. So this is the biphospholipid layer here. And this is it here. So it's bi as in two layers to it. And this is what contributes to that. Okay. So if we look at a very simplistic schematic diagram of the cell, because these portions here, the tails are hydrophobic, repel water, and you have the portion here, hydrophilic, loves water. This part gravitates to water. This part repels away from the water. So this part in here has no real contact as such with water because it's repelling it. So you've got the water on the outside of the cell and the water on the inside of the cell. Okay. Both aspects of water are needed for the health of the cell. Okay. So how the membrane works? This is what you can't really see this. This is called exostosis. Okay. Exostosis. So not exostosis, yeah, that's right. Exostosis. Now, basically what happens is you've got like a vesicle or a chamber containing some products that have been produced by the cell. Okay. Now this can actually migrate and move through. This area here is called the cytoplasm. Okay. So if we back up so you can see what that looks like. Okay. So if we look and see here, that's called this area here, this space here, could say it's a fluid filled substance, but it's got like different, ions in it and minerals, you could say. That's called the cytoplasm. Okay, right. So what you find with the exostosis, exosmosis rather, sorry. What you find is that this migrates through the cytoplasm and it gets closer and closer to the cell membrane, because this area here is the area that it lines. And so what it wants to do is it wants to empty its contents into this area. So like a zip, like a zip, it basically unfolds, and the vesicle also has this zip-like structure surrounding it, which is the cell, which is, you could say, plasma membrane, but it's forming the vesicle. And it basically joins to the cell membrane and it connects with it, and it allows the contents to be expelled or pushed out into the area that it's lining. Yeah. Okay. So this is another sort of like, example. Right, exocytosis, this is what I was looking for. Exostosis, that's to do with bones and stuff. Right. Okay. So exocytosis, it means exo means out, going out of the cell. Yeah. So you see how it's unzipping. Okay. And it's fusing to the plasma membrane and allowing the contents of the plasma membrane, sorry, not the plasma membrane, but the vesicle, to release into the area where it wants it to get to. Yeah. Okay. Here's another example. Okay. So this would possibly be, this is exocytosis. This would be cytosis. Cyto means cell. Yeah. Whenever you see like a terminology like cytotoxic, toxic means poisonous and cyto means cell. So cytotoxic, because you get medication within hospitals that are cytotoxics, like Chemotherapy is cytotoxic. It's cell poisoning. Yeah. And you wonder what's the purpose of poisoning cells when you're trying to get rid of something that's causing a problem in the body. But anyway, we won't go into that. So what we have here is exocytosis. This could be like, I don't know, like a rough endoplasmic reticulum. This here, it produces glycoproteins, or proteins that are mixed with glucose. Yeah, it joins them together, and then it forms a bubble, and it moves that bubble through the vesicle up to this area here, and then it does that, fuses to the cell membrane and releases it into the area that it's lining. Yeah. Okay. So this is another example. Okay. But this would be termed phagocytosis. Anybody heard of phagocytes before?
Yep.
So phagocyte is like a white blood cell, right? It kind of like takes bacteria in or whatever it is, it's causing a problem, and it surrounds it. It uses that same principle of the plasma membrane. It kind of gets closer to the problem, to the issue, and it folds in on itself, invaginates, it says. That's what that means there. Invaginates, and then it basically just surrounds it. So here it says number one, binding and absorption. Yeah. Okay. And then you have the phagosome formation. Okay. So here we have the phagosome formation. Then you have the phagosome and the lysosome. And lysosomes, this here, these are like vesicles or bubbles inside the cell that contain enzymes. And the enzymes, basically, they break down whatever they come in contact with, yeah, in terms of protein. And so the lysosome, the phagosome and the lysosome to form a phagolysosome. And then it's basically injects the enzymes into this area here, and the enzymes basically say, hey, time to break you down. And so they're broken down, and then, you know, digestion occurs, and then it releases the release of the microbial products out unharmful, and the body is now safe. So it uses that same principle as I showed you earlier. This is the same principle that it uses. Okay, only that this would be termed endocytosis because it's going into the cell. Exocytosis is out of the cell. Endo is inside the cell. Yeah. Okay. So the truth about the cell membrane. Every one of your 100 trillion cells is surrounded by a bilipid layer, a thin enclosure. The cell membrane is half fat. It contains virtually no structural carbohydrate. A portion of fat making up the membrane is saturated. Saturated simply means non-reactive. In other words, it doesn't easily react or absorb the oxygen and other biologic substances that come into contact with it. Okay. The other portion of the fat in the membrane is, however, unsaturated in that it does easily absorb oxygen. One of the ignored major functions of unsaturated, also called polyunsaturated fats in the cell membrane, is to facilitate the passage of oxygen into your cells. Were these essential fats absent in the cellular membranes, cells would starve of oxygen. Yeah, they would starve of oxygen, even though your blood was filled or enriched with oxygen. So this is how important they are. Okay. So just a little touch of black seed oil. So, you know, black seed oil is something that can help to encourage the effective functioning of your cells. It's oil, the black seed, cumin seeds, also known as the blessed seed, and has been used for medicinal purposes in the Middle East for thousands of years. It's anti-inflammatory, and it's useful for inflammatory conditions, including bronchial disease, inflammatory skin conditions, and inflammatory associated with arthritis. Inflammation associated with arthritis. Okay, it's a natural antihistamine action. Its natural antihistamine action makes it useful for airborne allergies, especially symptoms associated with fever, hay fever, allergic rhinitis, and bronchial asthma. It's also rich in antioxidants, amino acids, minerals, and vitamins B and A and B and C and D, which are excellent to support immunity. Its antibacterial properties are fantastic for fighting a wide variety of bacterial infections. It also has antifungal properties. Other benefits include the ability to lower blood pressure and cholesterol. Not to mention, it is very good at actually reducing blood sugar as well. So if anybody is on like diabetic medication or anything like that, they take black seed oil into the system, they need to make sure that they're paying close attention to their blood sugars, because it can it can make it lower than it needs to be. So you could possibly go into hypoglycemic shock, which means you haven't got enough blood sugar in your system, so you can pass out or go into a coma. We have in this household, we have first-hand evidence of how this works. We gave my father-in-law he's diabetic, and we gave him some black seed oil, or something that contains black seed oil. His blood sugar was about 6.9, which is high. It shouldn't be above 5.9 thereabouts. And it dropped his blood sugar down from 6.9 to, actually no, it's 6 point, I think it was double figures, 6.59, no, 6.79 or something like that nature, but it dropped it down to about 6.4. All right, and that was having nothing but just this thing that had the contents of the black seed oil in it. So black seed oil is very, very, very good for your health. But also, the amazing thing about black seed oil is that it's extracted. It's, as I said on the slide, it's extracted from Nigella sativa seeds, a plant native to Southwest Asia. The oil is claimed to be a healthy alternative to avocado and olive oil, or extra virgin oil. However, it can be expensive. The oil contains omega-6 linoleic acid and omega-9 oleic acid, and contains a potent bioactive known as thermoquinone, which is very, very good for very good for your blood. Okay, right. So 6 and 9, these omega acids are the ones that contribute or assist the production of your cell membrane. Okay, and if the cell membrane is made up of this stuff, it's like literally, you have a car, you run the car for 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 miles. You need to change the oil. If you don't change the oil, then the car begins to run sluggishly, right? Okay, so if we keep the oils of our systems effectively or changed effectively, what will then happen is our tissues will work more effectively. Why? Because they're taking up oxygen more effectively. So, remember what I said at the beginning of the presentation. Every single tissue, every single organ in your body is made up of cells. All of these cells have got a cell membrane. The cell membrane needs to be able to allow oxygen in so the cell has enough energy to work efficiently and effectively. If the cell membranes are not made up of the good oils, omega-6 and 9, then what will happen is it will have difficulty in getting that oxygen into your system. Now, some researchers have said that you need omega-3. Omega-3 is best for you. Omega-3 and 6 and 9, they're poison. Which is really, it's not true. At the end of the day, omega-3, you do need to have some omega-3 in that, but it's not as important or as valuable as 6 and 9. The majority of your brain is made up of 6 and 9. Yeah. Okay. And the individuals have found that once they've taken in, like, for example, like black seed oil into their diet, And they've got, like, say, they may have dementia, which again can be an issue. And the other thing about dementia I'd like to mention here is, like, you know, when people are on simvastatin and atorvastatin, which are like statins, which help to reduce cholesterol in your body, they actually strip your body of the cholesterol. Now, your brain, the majority of your brain is made up of fatty tissue or cholesterol, right? Good cholesterol, right? Okay. And what happens is the statins actually strip your brain of those essential fatty acids, which actually has been shown to actually enhance dementia as opposed to improve it. Okay. So common sense here. So nourish your body optimally in order to allow your body to perform optimally. It's not rocket science, you know. They say common sense is very uncommon. So let's hope and pray that we exhibit common sense here. Warning: stop taking fish oil capsules. Avoid fish oil and cod liver oil. Nature prevents freezing by creating an alcohol and by elongating fatty acid chains. DHA and EPA. Okay, so that's I'm trying to remember what it's called now. The brain's gone. Brain fog. Dexahexanoic. There you go. Hexanoic acid and icosapentaoic acid. These are long fatty chains. Yeah. Omega oils that basically you're found in like fish oils, and they act like an antifreeze, you know, for cold water fish, but you know, which become rancid instantaneously when exposed to human body temperature, 98.6 degrees, that's Fahrenheit, right? Warning: fish oils create dysfunctional cell membranes and suffocate and starve cells. So just be mindful of your consumption of fish oils and cod liver oil. Okay. Here, the unique benefit of omega-6 seed oil. The unadulterated omega-6 oils, seed oils, actively transports oxygen from the bloodstream to the target tissues like heart, kidney, brain, and also to cancerous tissues which hate oxygen. So this is one of the reasons why omega-6 oils are very good for us. Yeah. Because cancer can't really survive in the oxygenated region. It likes to have less oxygen. You know, the less oxygen you have, the more acidic your body becomes. And disease thrives, as we know, in acidic conditions. Okay. Dr. Otto Warburg earned a 1931 Nobel Prize in medicine and taught that cancer cells live in hypoxic, very low oxygen and acidic conditions and derive energy from sugars by fermenting them the way yeast does. Some people actually call cancer like a fungus, you know, it behaves like a fungus. So from this, he theorized that these low oxygen and high acidic conditions caused cancer. Okay, we have proposed that the cellular lipids may be involved in the facilitation and regulation of the supply of oxygen to cells. Okay, so moving on. So seeds actively transport. Now, if you can get your hands, okay, on this book here, this is called Parent Essential Oils. Okay, parent essential oils, of which oleic acid and linoleic acid are parent essential oils. Very important for your tissues. They help to keep your tissues functioning at a very, very effective level. So we have EFA, essential fatty oils, deficiency of functional parent omega-6 unadulterated oils, sets up the exact conditions Dr. Warburg showed were cancer causing. Lack of cellular respiration. Dr. Campbell et al. Confirmed both brilliant theoretical and experimental work, and you'll find the information in this book here. This experiment conclusively shows oxygenation decreased 50% when an EFA deficiency occurred. So again, EFA stands for essential fatty acid. None of us can afford this consequence if we want to maintain our cancer-free health. And here we have the end of the presentation. I hope that it makes sense. And I think we are here open for questions. hopefully they won't be too difficult. And if they are, I'll go away and do some research and I'll get back to you. All right. But yeah, I hope that's been helpful, or, you know, understanding has presented itself in some way, fashion, shape, or form. God's blessing.
Please go back to the other slide,
Which one?
the last one.
This one?
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. I tell you what.
Thanks very much, David. Excellent.
I was just going to mention, I was quite interesting. When I was reading this book, these doctors have done this research. They found that statins are, they increase the potential by 200%, the potential to develop heart failure by 200%. Amazing, isn't it?
Wow, that's a high percentage.
A high percentage.
Wow.
In fact, you know, one of the doctors, he was speaking to one of his doctor friends, and his doctor friend was on some statins, and he was having difficulty functioning. His heart was playing up, and so on and so forth. Circulatory system was all over the place. And he said to him, "Stop taking your statins."
Wow. Okay.
Stop taking them. And he said, "Before you do your research." So he went and researched into it and so on. And then he told him about the parent essential oils. When he read all about that, he said, right, so he stopped the statins, and, you know, now he's basically, you know, it's like a new man playing like 9 holes of golf, you know, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's very important. All of the cells in our bodies, all of the cells need to have this injection of parent essential oils, of which 6 and 9 are quite important.
So although it's parent essential oils,
yes,
it's not just good for children, but it's good for adults as well.
Adults, children. See, it's parent essential oils because it comes from seeds.
Yeah.
You know, it's not secondarily made. Like, for example, in fish, it's secondary. You know, and predominantly, it's like, you know, it's obviously, as I said, you know, they've shown it's for cold water fish, and it acts as antifreeze for the cold water fish. But as soon as it hits our body temperature, it basically, you know, it begins to work adversely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to get to our question session now. So if
I'll stop sharing, shall I? Are we
yes,
happy?
please. Yes, please. Yeah. If you have a question for David, he's in the firing line now. I'm sure he's ready and waiting. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute.
You want to increase oxygen level? Please don't put it right on me. Yeah. Max is down.
Also, if Shirlene, could you have a look at the YouTube if there's any questions, or anybody else who's monitoring YouTube to see if there's any questions come up.
Somebody's asking, what can you take instead of fish oils and cod liver oil?
Say that again.
Somebody's asking, is it Senti, I think it is, asking, what can you take instead of fish oils or cod liver oils?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you can any seed, you know, predominantly. It's like, I'll tell you what, if you look at, I mean, number one, the black seed oil is very, very good in terms of producing the omegas 6 and 9. Yeah, so if you can get your hands on some of that, it would be very, very, very beneficial to you. You know, pretty much the majority of seeds that are out there tend to have omega 6 and 9 naturally in it. I mean, you know, my mind reflects on Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. I mean, it doesn't necessarily say that the seeds shall be meat for you, but it says that, the fruit yielding seed, the herb yielding the seed, they shall be meat for you. So, you know, like, for example, I don't know how many of us like cashew nuts, right? Okay, but yeah, I'm a little bit of a cashew nut fan. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, cashew nut is a seed. You know, you don't eat too many of them, you know, because they, you know, you don't want to heighten the protein in your system too much, and they can be a little bit on the fatty side, you know. But walnuts are very good. Yeah, any nut. And I remember my brother, Mayman Wilson, he said, when I went on a medical missionary course with him, he said, anybody who says a peanut is a nut, because peanuts aren't nuts, they are legumes. So, you know, really and truly, it's like, you know, getting the nuts into your diet would be a benefit. You know, there are ways and means of getting it into your system by, you know, different sort of like, you know, products and so on and so that are out there in the market. I tend to use them myself. I tend to encourage my patients to use them as well, with great benefit. So yeah, those are ways you can get it into your system.
Okay, I've got a question here. It says, do you need to take CoQ10? Do you need to take it?
CoQ10 is good in that it helps with the function of your body's cells. Now, CoQ10 is basically, it's like a coenzyme, as I understand it. Okay. Now, coenzymes, they work in your body to facilitate reactions. Okay. Now, in your body, you have enzymes anyway, and they're called biological enzymes. Okay, because you know they're made up of protein, and your body produces them. So those biological enzymes help to break down food and to help to speed up reactions. Okay, in some cases, you have minerals that are present in your body that you need to place in your system because your body doesn't really manufacture them. Okay, to help those reactions. So not only do you have a biological enzyme, which is a protein that helps to speed up reactions, okay, but you have a coenzyme that works with that enzyme to speed up the reaction. Now, in some instances, the enzyme can break it down, but it will take longer. With the coenzyme, it speeds it up. In some instances, you have to have the coenzyme present, even though the enzyme is present, because without the coenzyme, the reaction can't occur. So CoQ10, it's one of those sort of like, you know, it helps to encourage, you know, the processes and the functions of your body, as well as antioxidant properties. So yeah, hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank you. You know, you say about CoQ10 that you actually, in some instances, you need it because it won't do it. Could you give me an example?
Now, there's like, for example, you have a certain process in the Krebs cycle. I'm probably going in a little bit. Let's see if I can do something a bit more simpler. Okay, here you go. Right, nice and simple for you. Yeah, you take calcium into your body. Yeah, right, via like green leafy vegetables. Yeah, okay. Now, or even a supplement that has calcium. Yeah. Now that calcium will go straight through your gut and into the toilet, unless you have vitamin D. Yeah. Okay. Vitamin D actually carries calcium across the line of your stomach into your circulatory system, so that it can be of use. So the calcium can be of use to you. If you don't have that vitamin D in there, well, you've just wasted your money on whatever green leafy vegetables you've been eating, or the mineral supplement. And so vitamin D is a coenzyme. Yeah. Or yeah, otherwise known as, well, vitamin D, any vitamin is a vital mineral. That's where it gets its name from.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. Next question. It says, how can you take black seed oil? How can you take it? All right. And also, what kind of quantities do you need?
Well, normally it's like you're looking at just a teaspoon, a couple of teaspoons. You can use to take it. It's doesn't taste very nice, but yeah, it's almost like a peppery kind of spicy kind of taste to it. But then there are other means that you can take it, which is, you know, if you mix it with like fruit or something like that, a fruit juice or something, you know, it's not really, I mean, oil and juice doesn't really go, but you're just taking it for medicinal purposes. But as I said, I produce well, not produce, but I have links with a particular company, and they produce these products that have the black seed oil in it. So when you take it, it tastes really reasonably nice. Most of my patients like it anyway.
So do you have a slide for your products, or?
Let me see. Can I share the screen again?
Yeah, if you don't just do, if you get that ready,
yeah,
you could share that with us. Let me just ask you a few more questions, but get it ready.
Okay, cool.
I've got another one. It says, does black seed oil come in capsules?
I believe you can get it in capsules, and if you do get it in capsules, yeah, that's probably one of the best ways to actually get it.
Okay.
Yeah, because when we don't realize this, but when we open up like oil, a bottle of oil, say, it only takes about a week or so for it to actually become rancid, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so by that means, it's like it basically becomes oxidized. And so the goodness, you're losing the goodness as the time transpires. You have it there for like months on end, then you practically may not be getting, you're probably just taking in rancid oils. And so the same thing applies to like olive oil and all those sorts of things. That's one way of actually getting it.
So just off the top of my head, how do you see a lot of these olive oils that you buy in the shop in bottles? Because obviously it's put in bottles for probably quite a while. Obviously it's sealed, but
hopefully in inverted commas, they've been sealed in a way where the air has been possibly ionized, because you've got a little gap at the top, haven't you?
Yeah.
And hey, having said that, if there's a little bit of air, it's not going to oxidize the whole thing. You need equivalent amount of air really for the whole thing to be oxidized, right? But having it, opening it, that gives an opportunity for any free radicals, which are oxidizers, to get in there and start breaking it down. But the hope is that they've made sure that, I don't know, by ionizing the air or wherever they're filling up the bottles, making sure that there's no sort of like free radicals that get in there that start causing the olive oil to go off.
Okay. I've got another one. It says, is CBD oil, hemp, good for lowering blood sugar?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. As I understand it, the main reason why they use the black seed oil, not black seed oil, the CBD oil, is primarily for pain. But I do know that it does have other very good positive effects. I'm not sure whether, so like, blood pressure, they said, yeah?
Blood sugar.
Blood sugar. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to look into that one.
No worries. Next one, it says, my husband always encourages us to use cod liver oil. Can you explain why we are not to use it? I didn't hear you clearly.
Okay, right. So the cod liver oil, yeah, and the way in which it works, it normally you get an oil, these oils from cold water fish, yeah. Okay. And effectively, when you take it into your system, when it hits your body's system, it actually begins to act like an antifreeze in your system. So when it's contributed to the plasma membrane, or the surrounding portion of your cell, it actually kind of insulates it, right? And it insulates it from oxygen being able to be absorbed into it effectively. So literally, it kind of stifles your cells of oxygen. Although you get some oxygen in, but you don't get as much oxygen as you should do. So that's why the cod liver oil is not the best. Omega-3 is not the best oil really to use.
Okay, great. Okay, I've got here, it says, if you use rosemary, a sprig of rosemary or sage in your fresh open oil, such as olive oil, it stops it from oxidizing.
Okay.
I think that's a statement.
Okay, that's cool. No, I didn't realize that. But that's because if you got olive oil in the house, man, stick it in, man. Stick it in. If it works, man, do it. That's what I say.
Okay, Chris, do you want to? You can get ready to share your screen in a minute. Chris, have you got any questions on YouTube? Chris? Or Janine?
Hi, Edgar.
All right, Shirley?
Hi, there was one, but it's been answered.
Okay. There's no other questions?
No, not that I can see.
Okay.
No, I've been monitoring, Edgar. There's no more questions.
That's fine, that's fine. Right, David, do you want to share your screen?
Okay, let me see if I can. No, what am I doing here now? Well, I'll work it out. I'll work it out shortly. Hang on. There we go. There we go. It's on the wrong page, man. All right. Okay. So here we go. Let's see if we can get that up. So this. Oh, it's the wrong one. There you go. This is the stuff. Some people may have heard of this stuff. But yeah, this is stuff that I share with a lot of my patients and stuff, man. And it's like the results. I mean, I've been in practice like 20 years, man. And I tell you, some of the results that I've seen with this stuff is just kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you. I can only thank God for, for putting.
Is this your product that you sell, or is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a partner with my partner. Yeah.
Right.
So effectively, this is the stuff that we push out there for individuals with like all sorts of ailments, inflammatory problems. I mean, obviously, in my work, it's like pain is brought on by inflammation, right? Okay. And the majority of diseases that we suffer with today are inflammatory based. You see, so really, this stuff has been found to reduce all sorts of ailments that individuals. I mean, I'm talking firsthand. I've seen the progress, the improvement with individuals, and they just continue on taking it because it's equivalent. Let me see if I can. There's one called Core, which it contains all these contents. Also the black seed also, and we know as medical missionaries, all of this stuff is good stuff that we need to be taking into our systems. You see, so this is another sort of like detox method and means that's used, but it's very, very, very good stuff. This is the and it's also for, if you want to go quickly, you got things to do, you haven't got time to like juice or this and that and the other, just in a container, shake it, rip the top and just drink it. And that's, that's how effective this stuff is. But this is the stuff that I tend to promote. What I found quite interesting is like, it's equivalent, one sachet is equivalent to 10 servings of organic fruit. I always wonder how they managed to get that into one little sachet, man. But people, the results showed for themselves, and they say proof's in the pudding.
So if you want to put your contact details up again,
okay.
If somebody wants to contact you with regarding,
yeah, I mean, you can contact me, or if you want to see this website here, rainintl.com,
okay,
full of health DHB, you can just go on there and just order it straight. Yeah, but obviously, if you have any questions for me, I'll be more than willing to. If you could get a hold of me, I'll endeavor to get back to you. Yeah, because I tend to be a little bit on the busy side. Praise God in these times, But yeah, okay.
All right. There's a question. I'm not quite sure what the person's asking. It says, "What about mother's breastfeeding?" I'm presuming they're saying, "What about mother's breastfeeding taking the black seed oil?" I think.
Taking the black seed oil.
Is it okay for them to take it while they're pregnant?
Absolutely, 100%. In fact, it helps to encourage the quality of the breast milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very, very good for breastfeeding. Extremely good for breastfeeding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And sorry, what did you say was, what sort of quantity? Did you say a couple of teaspoons, or is it more than
that? Just the black seed oil, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of teaspoons a day should be suffice.
So maybe something, is it palatable to use with like salad or?
Yeah, I mean, you could get away with it, man. You could get away with using it on salad. yeah, you could get away with that. You know, you'll probably put something else on there, just
Fair enough. Fair enough.
you know,
fair
just to
enough.
make it a little bit more palatable. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I would personally, I would do that. You know, because people like, when you're eating food, you like it to taste good. You know.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Now, is there any more questions?
Sharon's got a hand up, man.
Go on, Sharon.
Hi, everyone. Yes, so I was just talking about my experience of taking black seed oil.
Yes.
I was in a market in London, and there was some rastas that were telling me about the benefits of black seed oil. And I was sold, so I bought it, and they said it's one of the things it's really good for was if you had a cold. They were saying, obviously, have water. That was the biggest thing they were promoting, having water to flush out the system, flush the toxins out, but supplement it with a teaspoon or two of the black seed oil. And I must admit, it was an acquired taste, but I just thought, you know what, this is going to help me. And it is kind of peppery. I get you on that one. And would I add it to my salad? Probably not. Probably not. But if you want to, by all means, we're all different. But I think a teaspoon was sufficient for me to have, and then obviously drink lots of water.
Yeah, absolutely. Water is essential. Yeah. So Edgar, man, looks like you're on your own with the salad there, man.
It sounds like it.
I would just like to just give an example, yeah, with the soul stuff. I remember I used to suffer quite badly, like with gingivitis, swollen gums and this and that and the other. And in one instance, it must have been over a year ago now, right? That I this guy who's involved in like the company, his name is Dr. Bradford Wicks. He said, just brush your teeth. Once you've drunk the soul stuff, brush with the remnants, brush your gums and your teeth with it, right? And so I'd really got on the hard palate. There was quite a sore spot, and it was inflamed. I could feel it. And so I thought, what have I got to lose, man? Let me just try it out and see whether it works or not, Anyway, so when I started brushing my teeth with it.
Sorry, you're brushing your teeth with what?
With the soul stuff. This stuff that I was showing just the other day. Just the other minute, rather. Where are we? This one. That.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right. And within 10 minutes, the inflammation was gone.
Wow.
Within 10 minutes, inflammation was gone. And then normally it takes like, a week, maybe 3 weeks for like the pain and discomfort to go. The next 2 days, it was gone. Yeah. And I haven't, I still take the stuff daily, everybody in my household, man, we try to get it down, daily, so yeah, I haven't had a problem since.
Okay. Sounds good. I've just got a message. Could you have a quick look at your WhatsApp? Somebody told me to say that to you.
My WhatsApp.
And then I've got another question. It says, does it matter if black seed oil is high potency or just normal strength? Does it matter?
Well, if it's high potency, I would imagine that you need to use less of it. I mean, your body is normally a good judge of things, right? If you take too much stuff in, like for example, I know we're all aware of moringa, yeah. Okay, now moringa, the real stuff, good stuff, powdered stuff, yeah. You take a teaspoon of that, or half a teaspoon in some food and all the rest of it, or some breakfast, and you're good. Well, I think I put a little bit too much in one day. And I can tell you, it's a good detox. It's a very, very good detox.
Okay.
Because the next day, I couldn't leave a certain area.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that in regards to the high potency of the black seed oil. It's a detoxer as well. So you don't want to take too much because you could give yourself some discomfort. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, there's a quick message in here. It says, what did you brush your teeth with? What David is sharing at the moment, what's in the liquid bottle, that's what he brushed his teeth with. Okay, but for the person that was asking that question. Shirley, is there any more questions on YouTube? Or does anybody see any questions in the chat?
Louise got a hand up. And I
Louise,
don't
go
see
ahead,
anything
Louise.
in the chat.
Thank you. I was just going to say, in regards to the black seed oil, it's really good for like healing, like on like the outer skin as well.
100%.
My grandson had a polyp growing in his nose, and I got him to use that every day for a few days, and it dissipates. It does sting. It does sting when you apply it, but he said, and he's only 10. So he was a bit reluctant, but I'm his grandmother, so he hasn't got much choice. I dabbed it on it for like 3 times a day, and he began to be able to not feel the pain that was in there. The pain was constantly in there with that. Once we had started using it for like 3-4 times a day, just giving it a little dab intermittently, he said he started that it wasn't, the pain there wasn't so much. And then the next day he said it felt like really, really good. And then I asked him a few days ago, I said to him, what happened to your nose? Is it all okay? And he said, yeah, like ages ago type of attitude. So he's 10. So just imagine he's 10. And if you use this on the outside of the body, on like bruises, scars, those type of things, it works really, really well.
Fantastic. It's a fantastic anti-inflammatory. It's the most, in fact, it's one of the most powerful anti-inflammatories, natural anti-inflammatories without side effects.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds very good.
Yeah.
I've got another one here. It says, I know a friend who is taking care of her mother who is suffering from bad constipation. Would you say that black seed oil would be good for her?
Well, you know, at the end of the day, the thing is, it depends on what's going on with regards to the constipation, right? Okay, what's causing the constipation? You know, how much water are they drinking? You know, what other things are they taking into the system? What are they not taking into the systems? I mean, I know for a fact that, you know, the important thing is that you have to have sufficient fiber in your system. You know, constipation would have a tendency to predispose you to inflammatory processes, things like diverticulitis, yeah, and the like, you know, so like, you know, irritable bowel syndrome, you know, all of these things are inflammatory based. So, you know, I mean, even it's like, you know, it's really quite important. And this is why I want to mention, because I don't think really necessarily the doctors actually allude to these factors for individuals. I don't know if they know or have made the link, because, you know, an individual, as we know, when you eat 3 times a day, if you eat 3 times a day, you need to go and open your bowels 3 times a day. Yeah. If you eat twice a day, then it should be at least twice a day. Yeah. If you're eating 3 meals a day and you're going to the toilet once a day, it means that you're constipated, despite the fact that in your mind, I mean, I get this with my patients all the time. In your mind, you think that, you know, hey, I go to the toilet once a day, I'm good. But really what's happening is you're getting a buildup of fecal matter in the rectum. Now the rectum is extremely close in the female to the cervix. Okay, it's neighboring and it's only 1 cell thick. So the toxins are very good at shipping across from the rectum to the area of the cervix, whereby it increases the toxicity, increases the acidity, increases the potential for apoptosis, which means, or non-apoptosis, which is time cell death. In other words, the cells, you know, your cells have a certain life and then they die, right? So it causes dedifferentiation, which is like cancer forming. The same is true for men, because when men have their test for the prostate, they go through the rectum to test and feel the prostate because it's neighboring to the rectum. The more constipation you have, the more likely you are, I'm not saying it definitely will happen, but it's more likely that you will have some issues, some infections, some inflammatory processes going on in the female, the cervix, the cervical region, and in the male, the prostate region. So it's very, very important that that is not something that's long standing. Yeah.
So with what you've just said about the potential for having problems female and the potential for having problems male, prostate for the male, what would you suggest that the person does if they are not having sufficient movements? Obviously, to increase your water, but what else could they do?
Well, there are things that such as like, saline enemas. Yeah. Okay. It may even be a good idea after you've done the saline enema and cleared the bowel. Remember to get your pro and prebiotics in there, because you're removing all the good bacteria there.
Yeah.
Facilitate the production of serotonin and also dopamine. But you need to make sure that it'd be helpful to do a retention enema, which, once you've cleared the earring, you put a little bit of fluid in. It normally remains in the rectum and gets absorbed into your system, and even finds passage to your liver, which would be a good thing. And I would suggest just a very diluted sort of solution of aloe vera.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what will the aloe vera do exactly?
Oh, the aloe vera is filled with nutrients, healing propensity, and it's an anti-inflammatory as well in and of itself. I mean, it's likewise, with this one here, it has aloe vera in it,
right.
As well as the black seed oil. So I mean, it's packing a punch to dealing with whatever inflammatory processes are presenting. So it helps with healing. Aloe vera helps with healing, period. It's one of those wonderful herbs that's mentioned in the Bible.
Okay.
And I know in the West Indies, they call it Cinco Bible or something like that.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds very good. Is there any more questions? I don't know if anybody would like to put their hand up if they have a question and they would like to ask David. Now is your time before we wrap up. Somebody's put in the chat, aloe vera is a very good laxative as well.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just stop sharing a minute, David?
No worries.
On your side. Yes. Okay. So I'm looking at hands now. So I have somebody called iPhone. Would you like to unmute? I don't know who you are.
Good afternoon. My name's Lynette.
Whereabouts are you from?
Birmingham.
Okay. Hi. Go ahead. Ask David your question.
Okay. Hi, David. Very interesting show. I'm just wanting to clarify something regarding the black seed oil.
Yes.
Is all black seed oil edible, or can you swallow it, in other words, or is there some that's only for topical use?
Any food, any black seed oil that you're going to use internally, normally they have them marked as food grade. Yeah.
Sorry, they have what? Sorry.
Food grade.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So in most instances, and from what I've seen, that they are topical, as well as if it's pure black seed oil, as well as ingestible, as it were.
Okay.
You want to be looking at food grade.
Food grades.
Yeah.
So okay, because why I ask is because I've seen black seed oil sold in a particular shop in Birmingham actually, and it says for not to be taken internally. Right. Yeah. So that's why I was asking the question. So I didn't get the chance to ask.
So you want to make sure that when obviously on anything that you're taking into your system, make sure you read the labels.
Okay, right.
Certain things that may be in it that just wouldn't agree with you.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but I just need to clarify. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Thank you so much. Great.
Okay, Andy, I don't know where you're from. You want to ask your question?
Oh, hi, yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, just that comment that Louise mentioned about polyps. Unfortunately, I have a polyp at the moment in my nose, and I don't want to take the steroids that the doctor's given me.
Right.
So how do you? What's the application of black seed oil for the polyp? What do you do? Take a cotton wool and put it in? I don't know. How does that happen?
So the person that actually used it to facilitate, was it Louise?
Okay, sorry. Thank you, Dave. So what happened was I just got a dab of cotton. I put a little bit from the bottle, so I wasn't sticking the cotton bud into the whole bottle, if you understand what I mean. Right. So I put just a tiny little bit on in the lid or on like a little saucer, and then I just dubbed the cotton bud, just the dubbed cotton buds, the ones that you clean your ear with, which you should not do. So I just put the cotton bud on it, and I make sure it was fully saturated. And I cleaned the nose, like I was doing, you know, now they're telling you to swipe your nose with the COVID thing. Sorry, I'm just saying. So what I did was I did the whole nose, even though the whole nose didn't have the polyp on it, it was just one side. So I did the whole nose, but I spent a little bit extra time on the actual polyp itself. And I used one end to do the nose, and then the other end of the bud with the rest of the oil on it to focus just on the polyp. Do you understand? Because I didn't want to spread anything from the polyp to the rest of the inside of the nostril. Do you understand? But at the same time, I wanted to protect the rest of the nostril. And I actually did both nostrils. Even though he only had it in one, I did both. But it was about putting some oil in a little bit, in a little container or something, using both ends of the cotton bud, but separate times, and not sticking it in the bottle itself.
Okay, thank you. Was it also, because are there different types of black seed oil, or was it one particular type that you was using?
I don't remember the brand I used, but I got a pure organic one, high grade one, and I used it, and that's how I used it. I even use it to drink as well, because it can be drunk. But I took it in a smaller dose because of my system wasn't used to it. So I took it in a smaller dose first, and then you can increase the dose a little bit. But it does have that taste and smell to it. But it worked wonders. It worked really well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Okay, I've got a YouTube question saying, where do you purchase black seed oil from, and is there a better place to get it from? I don't know if you can answer that, Luz, or David. I don't know. Or
good question. I mean, there is, you got some of these like the Indian shops where they do like different like rosemary oil and so on and so forth. I would imagine you could get it from there, or you could just just get it from Amazon.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Lynette, you had your hand up. I don't know if you still would like to ask a question.
Lynette, no, sorry. My question's been answered, actually.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm Birmingham.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Good, yeah.
Did you say your question has been answered, or you do have a question?
Yes, it has. No, it's been answered. Thank you. Yeah,
okay,
great.
Thank you. There's a comment which says, so you got black seed oil has got different names. So I've got one here, the person saying it's called Kanonji oil. I don't know if anybody has heard of that, but he's saying that that's black seed.
I've heard of Nigella. I've heard of the Latin name Nigella sativa.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Louise, did you want to say something? Go ahead.
Hello, I just wanted to ask, please, and thank you for your very good presentation. I just wanted to ask, is the plant Persian jewel, is it the same as the black seed plant?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because when I looked up, it says it mentions the Nigella seed, the black seed, and Persian jewel. So I just wondered if they were all the same thing.
I'm not sure.
Maybe we
can
could come back to you on that when we come back next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you.
That can easily be found on Google. You go on Google. Google has its good and its bad. It's bad. It's bad. But if you go on Google and you ask for natural facts or facts, actual facts on certain things, they usually give it quite well. It normally gives you quite well. Gives it quite well. And it normally gives you different names for them. But there are some seeds, oils, herbs that have different strength to it depending on the name, what type it is. So it's just about having a good research. It's just about having a really good research.
Okay.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of different Nigella. You got Nigella. I've just looked on the internet. It's like Damascena. There's different types. There's Persian, jewels, Nigella. So yeah, you'd have to look into that and see whether who knows? The black seed might be the seed that produces the Nigella, the Persian jewel. So, but you have to research that probably.
Sorry, what did you say?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can I speak now? Can I ask my question?
Yes,
now?
yes, go ahead.
Yeah. This question is directed to David, towards David. David, you were talking about the omega oils, the parenting oil or something.
Parent essential oils.
Sorry, that's the omega oils like 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were saying that so I've read about the 6 and the 9 being the better ones.
Yes.
But I wanted to just check something, because a lot of people buy the omega oils with the 3, 6, and 9.
Yeah.
Is it better to just buy the 6 and 9 and leave the 3 out, or is it better to have the combination of all 3?
Well, they said a combination. Like for example, you got the B complex vitamins. Yeah. They do have their specific activities, each of the B vitamins, but they are best working together in concert. Yeah. Some of the research out there shows, and it's not really, I don't think it's 100% conclusive, but I think with the book that I showed you there, Parent Essential Oils, it says, the best ones to use are the plant ones, and they tend to be oleic acid and linoleic acid. And the omega-3s, some people in the research say that, you need to have some omega-3 and have it in partnership with 6 and 9. But this book, it does slide away from that sort of so you'll find some people in the research out, they say 6 and 9 causes inflammation, causes all sorts of problems. But it's there are different sort of lines of thought with regards to it. However, I mean, I've been it must be about 2-3 years now, but I've been sort of using the black seed oil, which is predominantly 6 and 9, in my clinic, and I've seen people have Parkinson's disease. After half an hour of taking one of the sachets, their shaking stops. And I've had individuals who had arthritis, can't lift their arms up above their shoulders, and it's within 3 months. I mean, obviously this person, it would take, if somebody smokes, which this person did, tried to get them off of smoking and all the rest of it, but I don't know, I think they're hooked really. But it's this sachet, basically they work on getting rid of toxins. If you continue putting toxins in, you're delaying the process, right?
Yeah.
So effectively they've now, they're going up and downstairs. They couldn't go up and downstairs by themselves. So it's, the proof, I say the proof is it may be anecdotal, but my thing is the proof is in the pudding. If it works, man,
take it.
Say, do it.
That's what I say to my clients. So just to continue my question, sorry, Edgar, I haven't finished my second part of the question. David, I don't know if you've heard of the product bee pollen. Have you heard of that product?
I have, yes.
And can you speak on it very quickly? Shirley's going to smack my hands afterwards, but can you speak on it very quickly for us?
Well, regards to the bee pollen, it's what I understand, because I still do use forever, what they call forever living products and stuff, right? And it's really good, a good fighter. It's almost like an antibiotic in and of itself.
Yes.
So, it's basically what the bees use to keep their hives sterile. So, it's effective in helping your body, your immune system response.
Okay. Right.
Go on, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say, I'm glad you said that. Right, we're friends now. Because one of the things that we prescribe for a lot of our clients, especially people who suffer with things like sinuses, who needs convalescent clients, people with things like asthma, all those type of stuff. I only speak about what I wouldn't say I only speak about what I 100% know about, because I can say, well, I've heard this or that or whatever. But when I put something to the test and it works, then I really speak quite passionately about it. And I hear the way you speak passionately about certain of the products and stuff. And I say to myself, the reason why you speak that way is because you know it and you can talk about it. And one of the things that I know that a lot of people, you're saying that the bee pollen acts as an antibiotic. It does, and it's one of the many small groups of food that is what you call a wholly and fully nutritional food along the board. And it is a wonder food. And I use this on my family, and I use this on lots of clients with magnificent results as well. So proof's in the pudding.
100%. I'm with you on that one, man. Defo. Yeah, I'm your face is looking a bit familiar to me, you know. I'm just wondering.
I'm sure we've bumped across the line somewhere, especially on AGMM and all sorts.
Do you know Paula and Lanry? Do you?
Who?
No? Lanry? No.
I might not know the surname.
Ogun?
No.
No. Okay. All right. No, I thought I was wondering. That's yeah. Probably mistaking you for somebody else. It's just that. Okay. Yeah. No. It's all good stuff, man. There's so much good stuff out there, but hey, it just doesn't get promoted by the pharmacia.
Okay. Shirley, do you have any more questions? I think we're kind of getting close to wrapping up.
No, Edgar, no, I don't.
Okay.
No, that's all.
Would you like David to promote next week's show? Can you give us a little snippet?
That'd be giving it away, wouldn't it? That'd be giving it away, man. Now, so really what we're going to do is we're just going to be looking at, because today was entitled the musculoskeletal system. So I really wanted to just give the basis of sort of like, you know, the muscular, or rather the build up or the makeup of all of the systems in the body. And obviously predominantly the musculoskeletal system is made up of tissues, which are made up of cells. So your cells make your tissues make organs make systems. Now, if the building block of these organs or these systems are good, then guess what? The system's going to work very professionally and effectively.
Sure.
We're going to be kind of looking at that, and I'm maybe just touching a little bit possibly on fibromyalgia.
Okay, excellent. Somebody was asking, how can I get the program? I'm going to say again, we say it regularly. If you go onto YouTube and you put in True Temperance International, you can catch this program again. If you just join us now, you can take it to the beginning and you can see the whole program. And we've got other programs that we've had going back, way back, months back. You can catch up on what we've been doing. Thank you very much, David, for doing today's program. We look forward to having you next week. Thanks, Ray. I know you're a very, very busy man, hard to get hold of. But thank God I got hold of you. We'll see you next week. We're just going to do a quick promo. Shirley, could you just run through the promo again for me?
Yes, that's fine.
I'm just doing it now. Let's see. Can you see that?
I can. No, actually, no.
You see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
let me
that's much
see.
better.
Yes, I'm going to start from here. If you just can run through.
Okay, so this is our Telegram groups, and we have women's health, spiritual health, men's health, where we have these separate. So, and this is where we have discussions about women's health on the women's group, men's health on the men's group, and spiritual health on the spiritual group. This may be words of encouragement, prayers, or if we have a challenge. I don't know if David has a challenge for us. This is where we were talking on the Telegram group about the challenges, what the presenters may tell us what it may be. So this is where we discuss things and have discussions with one another.
David, are you still with us?
I'm here. I'm here.
Could you just hold on till we do these slides?
Because I want to ask you.
I want to ask you if you have a challenge for our audience. So if you just want to think about that.
Okay, no worries.
While we're doing these slides, carry on, Shirley.
Okay, next please, Edgar. Okay, so this one is our spiritual, this is the spiritual health session on a Tuesday, every Tuesday at 7. It's on the Daniel series, and it's with Alvin and Lewis, who's a part of the team. So this is every Tuesday at 7 p.m. The details are below. The Zoom ID 869-8935-8138, and the passcode is 861932. So please join us as we look at the Daniel series on a Tuesday at 7. This one is with some of the team, the 10 core oils. This is essential oils that we will look at the 10 core ones, why we call them the 10 core. And these are just some of the things what the essential oils can help with, whether it's stress, toxicity, restful sleep, boosting energy, and many more. So please join us on a Thursday at 7, and it's a different ID. That one is 829-9752-4481, where we will talk about using essential oils. This one is with Louise, who was just speaking, her 10-day detox program from the 9th to the 18th of January next year. This will help you when it comes to cleansing your colon. David was speaking about how important it is when it comes to colon health. So this will help to cleanse it, lose weight, detox your liver, aid the digestive system. Louise, the cost is there, and you can contact Louise for more information or to sign up. Early bird is by the 20th. I think that says 20th of December to get it at the early bird price. And this one is with Manchester South Health and Temperance Day. Manchester South, there's some ministries joining together. Holistic, Mercy's Door, which is Louise, us, TTI, Crisis Talk Ministry, where we will have a day, Health and Temperance Day, where we're doing teaching, preaching, and healing with demos, juicing demos, herbs for the winter, talking about the herbs that's good for the winter, application of therapies, so that's like poultices, heat lamps, etc., etc. So on that day, we will be going live over there at Manchester South. And thank you all for your support once again, as always, and we thank you for joining us every week. We thank you for the newcomers as well who just joined our TTI family. We thank you, whether it's through your prayers, words of encouragement, financial sharing. We thank you all. And if you would like to support us financially, these are our details, bank details, and where we support homeless projects, medical missionary work, what we're going to do now in Manchester in 2 weeks' time, and more. So yes, thank you all once again. And thank you, David.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much, Shirley. It would have been nice if David had shared a little bit more for next week, but he's going to let us wait with bated breath for his next presentation. But we thank you anyway for today.
And Latanya said thank you as well from YouTube, David.
Fantastic, fantastic.
So, have you got a challenge for us, David?
Yeah, the challenge is, okay, now I don't know how many people have problems with balance, yeah? Sometimes you don't realize as time transpires that you have a problem, that you might have a problem with balance, yeah? Now, I don't know, some people may have heard of proprioceptive activity, okay? Proprioceptive activity simply means awareness, joint awareness of where your joints are in time and space, okay? So here's my challenge, right? For those of you who are not 100% confident, I want you to practice standing with your feet together for a period of 2 minutes with your eyes open. Okay. And then 2 minutes with your eyes closed. Okay. And if you find that that is like, oh, walk in the park, I want you to put one foot in front of the other, like you're walking on a tightrope. Okay. Eyes open. Okay. And then eyes closed. So you're going to do each one for 2 minutes each. Okay. And if that's like, oh, walk in the park, what I want you to do, okay, is to stand on one leg. Now, for health and safety purposes, make sure you have something in front of you that you can hold on to just in case. So I would suggest you hover. Yeah. Hover over something that's stable so that you can grab a hold of if you find you're going to lose your balance. Okay. And if doing it for 2 minutes with your eyes open, you know, do it the right leg, do it the left leg. If you find that it's a walk in the park, then I want you to try and do it with your eyes closed. Yeah, for 2 minutes. I think that's a sufficient challenge for balance. There are other things that you can do to challenge your balance, but I won't push it. Sister Sharon's got her hand up.
Could you, before Sharon comes in, could you just repeat the challenge again?
Okay, the challenge
so
is
clear.
So it's a 2 minute challenge, yeah?
Right.
2 minute challenge. To begin with, you stand with your feet together.
Yeah.
2 minutes with your eyes open.
Yeah.
Then 2 minutes with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
Okay. And if that's easily done, the next challenge would be for you to put one foot in front of the other, like you're tight roping. So the heel of one foot is against the toe of the one that's behind. Yeah. And you do that for 2 minutes. Eyes open. Following that, eyes closed, 2 minutes. Yeah. And then the final exercise, if you find that that's all easy peasy, lemon squeezy, yeah, I want you to do one leg standing, eyes open for 2 minutes with the right, 2 minutes with the left. And if you find that easy, then try it with your eyes closed. Again, for a 2 minute period and see how you feel. All of this is very, very much important for the vestibular mechanism in the brain, which really targets and helps to maintain your balance and your equilibrium, right?
Okay.
And we have a tendency to be very much reliant upon our eyes to find our horizontal. But the more you use the vestibular mechanism, the more unlikely you are as time transpires and as years go by to have sort of like accidents as a result of tripping over or falling or tripping over the rug or tripping over the, you know, because as time transpires, you begin to, the effectiveness of your interaction of your vestibular mechanism and your body's functions does tend to get a bit compromised or wanes a little bit. But if you do these exercises, they will help to maintain good coordination.
Okay.
Looks like Sister Sharon's got her hand up.
Go on, Sharon, have you got a question?
Yes, in relation to the challenge here, I've just tried it. I just tried it with the 1 foot in front of the other, yeah, and with my eyes closed, and I almost fell over. So that's a little bit worrying for me. So I'm just wondering, is there anything that you're suggesting that we could do to strengthen the vestibular system? Or, you know, or are we just left? Am I just left to fall on the floor?
All right, so here's the deal, right? So when you've got one leg in front of the other, Okay. If it's too much for you, then you slightly move one leg to the side, just a little bit, so that you got a bit more of a base. Okay. The wider your base, the more stable you are. Yeah. The smaller your base, the less stable. So you can just take the foot slightly aside and then work incrementally to get the foot in front of the other. And that way it will help to heighten your vestibular mechanism.
So you're saying I can train my system to
Yeah.
improve
Absolutely.
my balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Amen.
All is not lost, sister. All is not lost, man.
Amen. Yeah, I will be doing this, and I'm sure hopefully there'll be lots of testimonies next week when we come on. Don't feel shy. Listen, I just told you guys I almost fell over. No worries, you know, at least confession is good, and I know there is hope.
That's right, man. The truth set you free, man.
Louise, you wanted to say something? Louise, you wanted to say something?
Yes, we have a few show-offs in this house, so already doing the challenge, David.
Okay, okay.
We got my nephew's mom, Lisa, doing it, and my husband doing it. My husband's a bit of a show because he used to do all karate and balancing and stuff. He doesn't do that anymore, just so that you know. And so he's showing off that he can get it all right with his hands, feet up, and I'm like, oh, gosh. So your challenge is well on its way.
Okay, I've got some messages here about somebody's really looking forward to doing the challenge. So yes, it should be, hopefully we'll get some good feedback next week.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
Right, I think we are about at the end. Thank you again for the presentation and for answering questions and so on, and your encouragement and so on. We look forward to seeing you next week. I've sent you a direct message.
Yes.
To let me know when's good.
Okay.
From me.
Okay.
If you can see that message.
Yeah.
And I want to thank all the viewers for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today. Shirley, have you got any closing comments that you want to say?
Well, Jonathan has one. He said it was hard.
What was hard?
The challenge.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
But I'm sure we're going to have some fun in doing it. And of course, our Telegram groups, we can share one another on there and encourage one another that we can do it and get our balance.
I would just like to just as a precautionary or cautionary sort of a statement, make sure, young as well as old, if you find that you're losing your balance while doing these exercises, ensure that you've got something that you're hovering over that you can grab a hold of. Because, you know, one thing it would mortify me if individuals were to call up or to come back next week and say, oh, somebody fell over and broke their hip or fractured their ankle or caused some kind of injury. I would be full of guilt and distress. So make sure that you've got something that you can hold on to so you don't sort of damage yourself. Yeah, that's not the intention.
So this is David's disclaimer. But I'm going to say it again on behalf of TTI, so we don't get sued. Please have something close by that you can hold on to, because you might think your balance is okay, but when you do it, you might find it more difficult than you think. So please have something close by. I don't want you to give David a guilt trip, because we're here to help you, not to cause injury.
Yeah. Just
So
make
please
sure
have something close by.
Just make sure whatever you've got close by is an inanimate object and it will not move with you if you begin to fall.
Sure.
Yeah, just make sure of that. It's stable. Okay. Yeah, okay.
All right, well, I want to thank everybody again. We will be back next week. We have our Telegram groups that you can join into, men's, women's, spiritual. You can go on YouTube if you've missed the program. Just put in True Temperance International. And we will see you next week. We want to say goodbye to our YouTube viewers.
Goodbye.
Keep asking those questions. We will do our best to answer them, or ask the presenter to try and answer those questions. Thank you for your support financially. Thank you for your support, prayer-wise, and support even just by joining us today. And I think everybody could agree that our title for this series is very apt, that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Even the presenter, I'm sure, would agree with me that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. When you hear all these intricate things of how the body works, how we've got all these different systems, and they all work together, in some cases simultaneously, you don't even have to think about doing it. It just does it. We are fearfully